So Mob and our favorite con artist Regan is back in Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. I'm glad to have this series back. I did not realize how much I missed Mob Psycho until I watched this episode. When I watched the first episode of Season 2 today, all the emotions flooded back into me. How much I truly enjoyed the experience of Mob Psycho and how the characters were, how Regan was, how Mob was, just the story in general, this character-driven story. It's something I really loved with the first season, and honestly, it's been a while since I really fought long and hard about Mob Psycho 100, but after watching this first episode, it did everything right. It did everything right for those that have not seen this series in a while. It reintroduced us to the cast. It reminded us of what Mob went through in the first season and how Mob is taking new steps to grow as a character. It's a very beautiful, beautiful episode. And it's clear as day, once again, just like how I said with the first season of Mob Psycho 100, Studio Bones, the entire team that is working on this series, is extremely passionate about this project. It's clear. When you look at the individual scenes while watching this episode, when you see just to the opening song, to the ending sequence, to just these, shots where just slice life moments where Mob's just sitting by himself and you just have these certain camera angles, it's just so clear that Studio Bones are really passionate about Mob Psycho. They love this series, that they really want to go all in and make this as best as they possibly can. And it's one of the reasons why I really respect Studio Bones in these recent years, why I really have been a big fan of their work. I know it's not just the company, it's actually just a team working on it, everybody that's working on the story, or just, the series in general, but even then, though, just Studio Bones has had a really good track record these recent years, and I've just loved their constant work on series. with My Hero Academia to Mob Psycho 100, it shows that Studio Bones has a very passionate group in their company. There is this certain select amount of people in their company that really love these series that they animate. They're passionate about it, they want to go all in. And I was told through a few people on social media that basically the team was jumping for joy a couple months back or so about this anime. The actual staff that was working on it was very giddy and excited, which is really nice to hear, because that shows that they're very passionate and fond of their work, and they want to keep doing it, and it doesn't feel like a chore for them. That's what I appreciate. And so I think that passion from Studio Bones and what they're putting into this story, what they're putting into this series in general, is starting to be conveyed to the viewer. Me, as someone that's anime only, that is the first time watching this content, for instance, Season 2 content, it's very apparent how much passion. It's coming right into my face. I see it clearly, and I love it. And so I'm glad to have it back. So anyways, let's get into this episode. So Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 Episode 1 is quite a feels trip. It got me emotional, actually, towards the ending. Seeing how Mob, he stood up to those girls, and he's like, don't do that, or whatever. When, her entire novel was ripped up, he walks up, and this is a character that was very shy, scared, and really couldn't stand up much, or show his feelings properly in the first season. Seeing him, get up and all that, and try to protect her novel, and he starts picking up these little pieces and all that, and it seems futile. Why would you do something like that? But he still does it regardless, because the meaning behind it. For instance, how much effort the girl went through, Emmy, to be able to create this novel, and Mob sensed that. He knew that. He saw it with his own eyes when he read it. And so when he starts grabbing these pieces, trying to put them back together, obviously everybody are quick to condemn him, saying you're a creep, whatever, but Emmy sees a different viewpoint. She sees someone that actually isn't just someone that's all show, someone that's putting on a mask. He does truly care about her effort. He sees it, and he appreciates what she's doing with her life to create this novel. And just like how she was someone that was inspired to even confront Mob, she states that she's an individual that is very shy, and she's very similar to Mob, to where she needs a push on the back to be able to have the courage to do something. In a way, Mob returned the favor to her, and she did the same thing for him, because when she said that, and told him that, hey, you've inspired me. That's why I was even able to confront you in the first place, to ask you out, even though I wasn't really into you and it was all a dare. Even then, I still have a lot of problems, and you've helped me out, being nice to me this past week. And with her words, it inspired Mob to give him a push on the back, to where he decided to stand up to the girls and actually try to help her out when he started grabbing the pieces of the novel. It's a really great moment. It really kind of grabs everything that we got from the first season. Oh crap, Mob really has changed. He's no longer the boy he was in the first season. He's a whole new man now. Even though he does have some problems, he's still shy in some areas. He has changed for the better, and I appreciate that. I mean, especially that final sequence when he actually uses his psychic powers to fuse the novel back together. That's a great moment, because this goes in line with what was stated in the first season. If you don't remember, Mob's childhood friend, the one he has a crush on, told him that psychic powers really aren't interesting. Let me kind of give a refresher if it's been a while. When Mob, was younger, he thought he was crazy good, like his psychic powers, and, he was trying to impress the girl of his dreams, his childhood friend, and, obviously over time, even though she knew about his psychic power, she grew bored of it. She didn't really care too much about it. She's like, this really isn't that interesting. It's not going to really get you far, or it's not something that, is really that impressive or cool. And so Mob realized that his psychic powers isn't anything crazy. Like, it's not something that he should just boast about and try to impress people with. And that's why he said what he said to the girl in this episode, Emmy, like, my psychic powers, it's nothing really impressive about her or anything like that, nothing cool. I just, I'm using them just to help you out. It's a really good moment too, because it shows that Mob, he still thinks the same way like he did in the past, but at the same time though, it is cool because he's not thinking that he's, like, the best, or he's arrogant or whatever, which that's kind of how it looked like in the past, the way his, presence seemed like. Because he has so much psychic powers, it might seem like he's arrogant, even if he didn't mean it like that. That's what you can get from him. But it's no longer the case because of how he presented it in, this episode. So anyways, let's talk about the beginning sequence of the episode. The beginning is very stereotypical Mob Psycho, which I think is a perfect way to really get us back into the series. I mean, seeing the whole, like, straw or, like, vine or root spirit or whatever that Mob had to deal with Regan, it's a really good moment to kind of reintroduce us to the relationship between Regan and Mob and how they interacted throughout the first season. And I mean, seeing Dimple as well in this episode, kind of giving instructions to Mob, trying to help him out or whatever. They introduced the cast to what we needed to know, getting to see these funky relationships that Mob has with, let's say, this, the people that are in the bodybuilding club or the body improvement club. I mean, just all these little things really just set up the tone for what season 1 left us off with. Which, by the way, once again, I really love the Body Improvement Club. I think out of everything that has happened to Mob in the entirety of season 1 and now starting season 2, the Body Improvement Club is probably the best thing to happen to him. And the reason why is because they're such a good group. They're a good group of characters that are really just cheering my boy Mob on, helping him out in the time of need, and just trying to put a smile on his face, being considerate and trying to help him out. And I appreciate stuff like that, and so I think, the best thing that's happened to Mob is definitely that group. Now, moving past that for a second, let's also talk about that opening song. Holy crap. Holy crap. Like, Studio Bones. Honestly, I thought the first season's opening was just like a trip. Like, holy crap, just the colors, the color palette and everything to the first opening song blew my mind away. But seeing this new opening song, I think it's on a whole other level. Like, they went off the deep end with this opening song. It's crazy good. I've actually listened to it over and over for a past hour and a half now because of how good that opening song is. I still think the lyrics of the first opening is better than the second opening, in my personal opinion, but in terms of visual-wise, the visuals of the second season's opening is definitely better. Big fan of it, and holy crap, I think what really makes this series so fun is the fact that the colors. It's such a colorful series that it really just makes your eyes freak out. There's something always to look at, something so interesting to stare at, and you can keep watching the episode and just see all these little scenes with this just animation art that's put in that makes it look godlike. And I think that's why many have fallen in love with the series, not just because of the passion, which is an extension of it obviously, but it's because of just the sheer amount of colors that is in this series. And I think one's art style of how he presented Mob Psycho in the first place is why this series just looks so cool in Studio Bones' hands. But I think that's pretty much about it. It's a great first episode. I cannot wait to see the second episode of Season 2 next week on Monday. And I think many are with me that finally Winter of Anime 2019 is underway. We have a good season here, so many good anime, and I can't wait to see more of them come out. So I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, because for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified for whenever a video is uploaded. So if you want to get notified for when a video is uploaded, please click that bell icon down below. And this goes for all YouTubers, not just me, but all YouTubers on the platform. So even if you don't want to do it for me, at least do it for the YouTubers you care about. And with that, I love you guys. Be safe. Chibi out.